its world premiere earlier this year at international film festivals. Amazeze, Fleas, by South African director Jordy Sank and producer Gabriella Blumberg, is screening at the 2025 Durban International Film Festival. And the film shows the harrowing effects of xenophobia in South African society and teaches us about the violence of dehumanization through the eyes of a child. Take a look at this.
It's funny to trust anyone, especially my name.
Sesiyazi ukuthi kunjani ukumunywa itsetse until igazi lakho lize liphele. Isikhathi sokwenza something sesifikile.
Director Jordy Sank joins us now for more on the film. Good morning, Jordy. Welcome to Newzroom Afrika.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me, Masechaba.
Firstly, let's start with a brief synopsis of this film, Amazeze.
Yeah, so Amazeze is a story about a young Zimbabwean boy who's living in the township. He's looking after his sick brother while he's waiting for his mother to come back from work. And his brother becomes desperately sick and he needs water. But at the same time that his brother needs water, there is this mob of locals attacking foreigners. And this young Zimbabwean boy now has to lurk through the shadows to try and get to the communal tap, just to bring his brother back, something as vital as water. So it really is the story of the struggles that foreigners are having in our country and this terrible xenophobia that has swept through our country through the eyes of a young boy.
Now, xenophobia is, as you would know, quite a contentious issue and conversation in South Africa. What inspired you to tell this particular story? So
this particular story came about, I was working with an activist here in Johannesburg at the time. I live very close to Orange Grove, where a lot of shopkeepers, have been attacked. A lot of foreign shopkeepers have been attacked and been told to close down their shops, or that their shops are going to be burnt, or that their families are going to be targeted. And I was working with an activist in the space here, and I remember that there was a marketplace that had been burnt down of foreigners' shops. And I remember seeing this woman in the marketplace, and she was sitting on the floor of her burnt down shop, and she was crying, and she was saying, "How am I going to feed my family? How am I going to feed my children?" And this really, really struck a chord with me. And I just knew that, me as a filmmaker, the best tool that I have to contribute to the conversation is through my craft of filmmaking. And, I really, really wanted to create this film just as an important catalyst for conversations, so that people can, often these conversations of xenophobia get swept under the rug, or they don't often make the news when they happen. So I just thought it's a very important conversation for all of us to have, and, for all of us to grapple with.
Let's talk about the title, Amazeze. How did you get to this title? So
the title of Amazeze is, it's a derogatory term that people have used to describe foreigners, as fleas. And, we've seen it throughout history, particularly the Jews during the time of the Holocaust in Nazi Germany. There is often this rhetoric that comes about when one refers to foreigners or people that society often looks down on as fleas. And I think that the thing about this title that is so important for us is that, it's the first step in dehumanizing someone, because the moment you are able to refer to someone as a pest or a flea, it's very easy to say, let's squash the flea, or let's exterminate the flea, or let's get rid of the flea, because they don't look human in your eyes. And, one of the things in this film that is so pivotal is that there's a little relationship that happens between a young Zimbabwean boy and a young South African boy. And, the innocence of children often teaches us that hate is taught. And, as Nelson Mandela so adequately said, is that one isn't born hating, one is taught hating. And if they are able to be taught to hate, then it will be so much easier for them to learn to love.
Now, you star a very, very familiar face, award-winning actor Warren Masemola. Tell us more about the cast and the crew of Amazeze.
So the film is mostly in Shona with a little bit in isiZulu. So most of the cast are young actors under the age of 14. So it was really an incredible process of finding these young Shona-speaking actors, mostly from theatres, and it was most of their first time working on a film. So it was really, really an amazing process working with them. And Warren Masemola came on board. He read the script and he loved the project and he wanted to contribute to the project. And he was just, firstly, he's one of the most incredible actors that we have in South Africa, but also he was just so generous with his time, spending the time rehearsing with the boys and just giving so much of himself because he believed so deeply in the project. So yeah, I'm forever grateful to Warren and the incredible kids that came together to really, really make this such a beautiful project.
All right, so you've hit the ground running with your international premiere. How was the movie received by audiences, and when are you screening again?
So the film has it had its world premiere at the Clermont-Ferrand International Film Festival in France, which is the biggest short film festival in the world that's solely dedicated to short films. So by the French audience, it was really incredibly well received. And also I attended the local premiere, the African premiere that we had at the Durban International Film Festival, where also it was just so wonderful to get that sort of reception here back at home. And we continue with many, many more screenings. So in the next few months in South Africa, where one can see the film, is it's playing today actually at Watercrest in Durban. It's playing on the 2nd, both in Cape Town at the Labia Theatre and in Johannesburg at the Bioscope Theatre. And then also it's having another screening in Cape Town on the 22nd of August as a part of Silver Skerm Fleas. So a lot of great opportunities around the country to still see the film. And yeah, then we have many, many more international festivals that unfortunately I can't disclose right now, but we're looking forward for the film to be shown far and wide.
Jordy, thank you so much for your time and congratulations on your film.